It was 1987, I believe. 1987, Northern California. Quite a blur that year was. One night, um, I was doing well. I had spent a night the next morning, that day afternoon, and into the next night drinking, heavily drinking, and then passed out at Kenny's place. Passed out at his place, and then I remember it was got a little crazy, whatever. And then I woke up on the couch, and the whole house was spotless. Somebody had cleaned the fuck out of the house at some point. It was spotless, except over by the door, his mother had some. We were teenagers, We didn't. We owned a pair of shoes and pants and a shirt. That's all we owned. So, his mother had these plants next to the front door, and one of the plants was knocked over onto the floor, and there was some soil on the carpet next to the front door. Other than that, the whole fucking place was spick and span. It was unusually clean. Usually the place was, a little dilapidated here and there because everybody was drunk all the time. But somebody had cleaned the shit out of the house. Probably Kenny's mom. And I get up and I look in Kenny's room, and there's nobody there, which is really weird. Usually there was always someone at Kenny Z's place. But there was nobody there. It was just me alone. I woke up. It was this Twilight Zone shit going on. So it was very unusual for that house to be completely empty. And I'm walking around. I go look into. I look into Kenny's room, and this is 1987. There was stacks of VHS movies on from floor almost to ceiling. Stacks and stacks of VHS movies, stereo equipment, television sets. There was a fucking car stereo there. And I asked him later, I go, hey, that thing came out of a Ford, didn't it? He goes, yeah, El Camino. I go, yeah, I could tell because he ripped out half the dashboard with it. It was half a dashboard to a Ranchero. No. Yeah, I think it was a Ranchero. No, it was El Camino, it was Chevy. He ripped out of a Chevy, didn't you? I recognized the Chevy dashboard. Had half the dashboard, the stereo still connected to the dashboard. And he goes, yeah, man, this is later on. I talked to him later. And he put his foot on one end and ripped the dashboard out of his car. So he had all this shit in his room. There's nobody there. I go outside. My 78 Nova is sitting in the driveway. Nobody's there. And I'm starting to really need a drink. So I get in the car and I drive to the fucking liquor store to get a 12-pack of Budweiser. And I was just going to come back, and a pack of cigarettes, of course, and come back and start my morning. Get in the fucking car and I put it in reverse. And the U-joint in the this is an old 78 Nova's drive shaft, rear drive. The U-joint went clink. No, it went ding like a bell, and that's U-joint. What the fuck? I drove out there. I drove to the store. Everything was fine except when I'm shifting. Reverse, drive, park, and it went ding. I'm like, okay. So I get my booze. I go back to the house. I take Dinger Bell back to the house. And I really don't remember. I think I just sat there alone and just started my morning with a 12-pack of Budweiser and a pack of Camel cigarettes, and I turn on some music. Not much. Doesn't take much to entertain a drunk after he's gotten his booze. So I'm just kicking back on a good one. And I really don't remember how we regrouped. But when we did regroup, that could probably come back later. Maybe I got drunk and fucking blasted stereo and they came back. They might have even all come back on meth, Who knows? Drunk or on meth. And then Kenny told me the whole story. He goes, oh, yeah, you passed out. I go, yeah? What happened to my fucking car, dude? Where'd all that shit in your room come from? This motherfucker ran into some dude. He had endless connections, so he ran into some dude in Auburn. This dude tells Kenny Hey, I think Kenny already took my car without asking. He was really good at that. He never owned a car in his life, never had a driver's license, but he managed to crash about 15 stolen vehicles before the age of 18, 20. Kenny Z, baby. And we're still running, right? So So he runs into this dude in Auburn. I'm back at his place, passed out. He's got my fucking car. And the dude's all, hey man, I'm looking for a driver. And Kenny goes, I'm right here. He doesn't even own the fucking car. He goes, but he's got a car, my car. And the guy goes, I need to do a collection run down in Sacramento. And Kenny's like, well, what the fuck are we waiting here for? They go down, they take my car down to Sacramento. And they did a raid. They raided some dude's house. And fucking, because this dude, he goes, this motherfucker owes me money. And they raided some dude's fucking house and they took all his shit. And I guess the dudes just kind of just let them because they were ready to do battle if they had to. And they took all this dude's shit and Kenny rips half the dashboard out of it because he was probably hitting some vodka, driving my fucking car while I'm passed out. He stole my motorcycle one night. I had no idea. He told me about that like months later. He didn't tell me for months. Remember that night? Remember that night at John Marshall's shop and we partied and shit? Remember that? Well, you passed out and I took off on your bike for a couple hours and brought it back. I totally thought I was going to get caught. I totally thought you were going to be awake by the time I got back, but you weren't. You still passed out. Like, thanks, Kenny. Thank you. Appreciate that. At least they didn't smash it or get it taken by the coppers. Mr. No license having for his entire life. In and out of prison. Juvenile hall. I grew up with Kenny, so it was juvenile hall. I was with him when he first went to county. I was right there watching the Pulaski County Sheriff's deputies click him up in the bushes in front of the fucking hospital. We were doing a little day drinking. He's in the bushes, falling over there. Come on over here, Swaggle. They already knew who he was. And, hey, Swaggle, how's it going? Boy, you're a little fucked up today, Kenny. Mr. Swaggle. God rest his soul. We can talk about him because, you know, he's gone. They can't catch him now. They can't catch the Midnight Rider now, baby. Kenny's flying. He's riding his chopper up in the stars. Kenny Z. Ain't nothing easy about Kenny Z. So, yeah, he takes my fucking 78 Nova. Not like it was anything fucking special, but it was my car. To Sacramento, and he got popped down there by the cops because I think he was drunk through the whole thing. Vodka. So it was like vodka, gas pedal, Kenny. Not necessarily in that order. Kenny, vodka, gas pedal. Sacramento County. Sacramento County. I don't know. No, he didn't even get taken. I don't know how he got out of that. Because I got my car back. Obviously, he got... I don't know how he didn't get arrested. Because they stopped his ass. This is after they raided the... They got all the shit in the fucking car. And the Sac County Sheriff fucking popped him. Because he said I go, why'd you get pulled over? He goes, that's what happened to your fucking... the U-joint and drive shaft. He says he was on Watt Avenue or something. And you're on Watt Avenue at 4 o'clock in the morning. There's 6 lanes of traffic. There's 6 lanes of avenue. And at 3-4 a.m., you're the only guy out there. You look like a fucking spotted owl, dude. And he did a U-turn because they passed something, and he went over an island on Watt Avenue. And then the cops saw that, and it's illegal to make a U-turn over an island. So they pull his ass over. They fucking get the registration and everything. Look at the registration. They knew he didn't have no license. You know, who owns this car? And he goes, and he said my street name. And the cop looks back at the registration and goes, I'll give you 2 more guesses. And he goes, oh, Jimmy. And the cop goes, okay, well, who's Jimmy? Because he's my bro, man, back in Auburn. Okay, and I don't know how the fuck they just said, all right, have a good night, and let him go. I don't know, but he got lucky once in a while. Guy did a raid with my fucking car, man. Can you believe that shit? 1987 Kenny Z coming at you.